Hi everyone, welcome to the start of chapter 4, linear equations. So we are going to start, if you can take your writing books out please, and we're going to write down what you can see, and I'll move it up. No, I won't. You can press pause now and copy that out please. Okay. So what we've said here, we already know this from last year, hopefully, about an equation. It's got an equal sign in it. That's pretty straightforward. It also means the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. Now, you might have missed this last word. Sorry, I haven't got a bigger scope here. We have to know the inverse operations. So you can go ahead now and fill out this table as well, which is all pretty straightforward. So hopefully you have got the inverse of the plus is minus, inverse of the minus is plus, inverse of times is divide, and inverse of divide is times. I'm going to keep going now. Don't forget you can pause this at any time that you need to. Okay, so let's have a look at our first equation. I do expect that you are writing all of these examples down. Just pretend we're at school and you're looking at the board. So we have got here what is happening to the x. We are minusing 80 from the x. So if we go to our table, or we already know that the opposite of minus is the inverse. So is plus, sorry. So the opposite of minus 80 is plus 80. So we're going to add 80 to both sides. You are welcome to use your calculator. So now we are going to get, if we use our brains or our calculator, we should get x equals 230. And hopefully some of you have gone ahead and got that one by yourself. All right, I reckon you can have a go at this. You can pause now, have a quick go, and then reset. Okay, so the opposite of plus 52 is minus 52. So we are going to subtract 52 from both sides of this equation. So if we have 80 minus 52, we get 28. Hopefully you got that. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Please copy this down. This time, if they're sitting right next to each other, don't forget that means times. And we know that the opposite of times from the past, we know this, or from our table up above, the opposite of times is divided by. And we're going to use the divided by sign like this. Okay, so we're dividing by the number that is in front of the 6. So we have 100 divided by 6. Now, you are allowed to use your calculators, so please do so to get that answer. Okay, you should get 16.67 as your answer. Hopefully we got that one. Okay, next one. If you can please write down x over 7 equals 6. So this time what does that mean? It means divided by 7. So the opposite of divided by 7 is multiply by 7. So the 7s will cancel out, which is great. That's what we wanted. We want to end up with an x. And the answer of 6 7s is 42. So we have, for that question, 6 7s are 42. Okay, so that's like the first few questions that you'll get when you do this exercise. The next one kind of questions you're going to do are this, if you could please copy. Could x equal 10 be a solution to 5x minus 15 equals 35? Please press pause while you write this out. Okay, so this time we have a value for x. The value is x equals 10. So we're going to substitute that where there is an x and see if the answer works. This is what we were talking about before. Does the left-hand side equal the right-hand side? So we're going to have 5 times 10 minus 15 equals 35, and we're trying to work out if that works or not. So first we're going to do, if we do bid maths, we're going to do multiplying first. So we're going to have 50, subtract 15 is equal to 35. Now 50 minus 15 is equal to 35, so your answer is yes, x equal 10 is the solution to that equation. Okay. Now, we have sometimes more than one step. So now the rest of the questions are about if you have two steps, if you have to do two steps. So I'm just going to write the word more in here because I'm not sure that you can see that. So it says, if you can copy, when solving linear equations that have more than one step, you must do the inverse and do it in reverse order. What does that mean? We're going to use the example 3x minus 9 equals 12. Please press pause to write this down. Okay, what would you normally do with the x? Okay, so what do you normally do here? Like what we just did before. The first thing we did was we multiplied by 3 and then we subtracted 9. So this is if you have a value for x, what do you do? So you multiply by 3 and then you take away 9. We're going to do the opposite now with our equations. We're going to do the inverse and we are going to do this one first. So in fact, we are going to inverse that. So we're going to add 9 first and we're going to divide by 3 after that. So I'm going to write the question out again so it's nice and clear for us all to see. We have 3x minus 9 equals 12. So if we come to here, because that's what we're planning to do now, we're going to add 9 to both sides. So we're going to have 3x equals 21. Now we're back to one of the examples from the start again. So it's sitting next to each other, okay, is going to be multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication we know is divided by. I'm hoping some of you have skipped ahead and got an answer already. If we cross out the x's, the 3's, we're left with x, and our answer is 7. Now don't forget you can always check this. So if you do a check, you could do a check in your head or on your book. So like we did in the example previously, we now think that x is equal to 7. So let's see if that's going to work. So instead of x now, I'm going to write out 3 times 7 because we think it is equal to 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Subtract 9. If you take 9 from 21, you get 12. So you know, if you do the check, that you have answered that question correctly. Okay, I do have a lot of examples for this lesson. It's not normally this many, but we just want to cover everything that you're going to be doing today. All right, so we normally would multiply by 2 first, and then we would add 4. We want to do the inverse, and we want to do the reverse order. So the inverse of plus 4 is minus 4, and we're going to do that first. And the inverse of times 2 is divided by 2, and we will do that second. So we have 2y plus 4 is equal to 12. From here, we are to subtract 4 first. They go away. 2y is equal to 12 minus 4, which is 8. Hopefully you can go ahead and do the next bit. We've just done these. 2 times y, the opposite of times, is divided by. So we are going to divide by 2, and we will get y equals 4. Now would be a good time to pause, put your y equals 4 back into this equation. You could do that one in your head and see if it works. Okay, number 7. Don't forget you can pause at any time if you're wanting to, if I'm a bit fast for you. Okay, let's see what we've got. The first thing we do to the x is divided by 3, and then we take away 4. Okay, inverse and reverse. Minus 4 is plus 4. Divided by 3 is times 3. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, you might want to do that on the side of your page, and then you don't have to write out the question again, but I'd like to be nice and clear at the moment. First thing we're going to do is add 4. Okay, they cancel. Go ahead, skip ahead of me if you want to. I'll be quiet. Let's see if you get the same as me. Okay, did you get x equals 6? Once again, let's try. We'll put it in here. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Oh, what have I done? Oh, 2 plus 4 is 6. Goodness me, I hope you didn't get what I got. Now, the only way I worked out I got that wrong was because I went to check. So that's why it's good to do. Hopefully you got 18 and not 6. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So we know 18 is correct. And my first one was not correct. Now this one, what do we do first? We do times by 3. I'm going to do it over here and then I don't need to write it out again. Times by 3. After we have multiplied by 3, then we're going to divide by 5. So inverse and reverse of that is multiply by 5 and divide by 3. Okay, let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply by 5. Might grab a different colour. All right, so if we multiply by 5, then we get the 5's to cancel. We're left with 3x, and 6 5's are 30. Go ahead, find your answer, and check it. And I will too, in case I'm wrong again. Okay, did you get x equal 10? And did you sub it back in? And you should find that it is correct. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This one is a little bit different because this is our minus. Now remember, when there's nothing sitting in front of the x, put your 1 in there when you first start doing these. It will make things a lot easier. Okay, so what is happening here? Be very careful with this. So this is actually 1 multiplied by x. So we're going to put a little multiply by sign in there. Now, and in fact, it's not 1, it's -1. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to multiply by -1. And then the next thing you've got, this sitting here by itself means add 6. Because remember, this could also be written as -1x plus 6. Okay, let's do the inverse and the reverse. So inverse of plus 6 is -6. Inverse of times -1 is divide. It's still -1. Okay, it's the number, the whole number, including if there is a negative. So this is what we want along here. Let's see how this works out. This is a hard one. So this is going to be when you get down to the trickier questions. So if I'm losing you at the moment, don't worry. Okay, just come back and have a look at this perhaps when you get to those questions. So the first thing we want to do is subtract 6 this time. So we're going to subtract 6. Okay, so 6 minus 6 is all gone. Now be careful here again. What are you left with? You're left with -1x, and that is equal to 2. Now, this, as we said, is multiply. It's sitting right there. So we need to divide by, and that's what we set up here, -1. So you always can revert to back up there if you want to. But make sure you're putting the negative. If you don't put the negative, you're not going to end up with x by itself. Okay, now they cancel. So you're left with x equals -2. Now, if we put that up in here, we get 6 minus -2. Sorry, I'm running out of room. So 6 minus -2. We know a minus and a minus makes a plus. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Okay. 3 more, everybody. We're nearly there. Okay, so number 10. If we can write this out. Don't forget to press pause if you need to. All right, we're going to do these ones by just going through and seeing if you can... Oh, no, we're not. We're going to say what we do first. So we're going to add 1 first, and then we are going to divide by 2. opposite and inverse is times 2 and minus 1. Let's have a go. So the first thing we're supposed to do is multiply by 2. So, of course, we do that to both sides. We like this straight away because we have got rid of the fraction. It is now just x plus 1. 11 times 2 is 22. If we look at the second one, it's minus 1. And if you look here, you know from the start that that's a pretty easy one. We're just going to subtract our 1. So the answer is x equals 21. All right, oh, this is an A. If you could please write 3 over A equals 4 over 5. All right, this is a little bit different. We don't like the A on the bottom. He's annoying. So we're going to multiply both sides by A. And let's just see what happens. If we do that, then those A's cancel out. And we will end up with 3 equals. Now, this is the same as A over 1. So we're going to go 4 times A is 4A. A over 5 times 1, which is 5. Now, it might make it a bit easier if you turn this around the other way. So don't change anything, but now it probably looks a bit nicer or easier for you to do. All right, what have we got? If we go to our list, first thing we do is multiply by 4, because that's the closest thing. Next thing we do is divide by 5. Okay, inverse and reverse becomes multiply by 5 and then divide by 4. This is the way we want to go. So let's have a go at doing this. First thing we do is multiply by 5. Okay, then we're going to have 4A is equal to 3 times 5, which is 15. And then we are going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. Okay, have I done that right? Why is that a fraction? Maybe it is a fraction. A, 4A, 5, 15. Yep, it is. That looks good to me. So you can use your calculator or you can go 4, 8, 12. You should get 3.75. Or you could do it as a mixed fraction. 4 into 15 goes 3 times. 3 4s are 12, and you're left with 3 on 4. Either of those is fine. Okay, lucky last. Again, the letter is on the denominator. We don't like that. So we're going to multiply by B. Multiply by B. Okay, cross them out. Yay, we have already got rid of our fraction, and this would be minus 2B. Now, I'll change it round for you to have the pronumeral on the left-hand side. Some of you may not want to do this or need to do this. And then this is times, minus 2 times B. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 2, not just 2, the whole thing, so that you're left with B. This is also going to be divided by negative 2. So your answer will be B equals negative, because it's plus and a minus makes a minus. And 5 over 2 is 2.5 or 2.5. You are certainly allowed to use your calculators doing that. Now, the questions that you need to do are listed here, but they are also in your Compass lesson plan for today. Okay, thank you.